This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutation unto the hopeful elect. This is the brother Bakwasha, and I'm just going to cover a quick segment of the Red Summer of 1919. And as history states it, these Edomites, these so-called white people, have had a perpetual hatred towards so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And I'm just going to cover like maybe a couple of articles because the information in itself is just so it's volumes of information. And, the Red Summer in itself only merely even scratches the surface of all of the atrocities that have happened to our people, but specifically here in the Reconstruction era, the era, immediately following our people being quote unquote released from slavery. And so I'm just going to start here in Wikipedia. I'm going to read just a highlight or two and then get into an article. And Lord willing, this will be edifying for the elect. Let me read this again in Habakkuk 2 and 12. It says, woe, and that word woe means destruction, to him that buildeth a town with blood. And everything that Esau, the so-called white man, has done has been through the might that he has of the sword. And he's been able to terrorize and kill whoever has gotten in his way. And specifically, he's had an affection with killing our people, okay, Israelites of the Bible. And he actually used that terror, okay, quote unquote, white terror, okay, to actually build America, okay, through slavery and through terrorizing our people. He built a town with blood. It says, and establisheth a city by iniquity. And that iniquity is his lies, his sorcery, his witchcraft. But let's read here a little bit from the Red Summer. It says, Red Summer is the period from late winter through early autumn of 1919, during which white supremacist terrorism and racial riots took place in more than 36 cities across the United States. 36, okay? As well as in one rural county in Arkansas. The term Red Summer, and we know Esau, the so-called white man, is deemed red, okay? It says Ashashua, okay? It says his pigmentation is red, all right? Because he's not white, okay? He's red, okay? But it is his pigmentation is wasted away, okay? Scripture says wasted away is he, okay? It says the term Red Summer was coined by civil rights activist and author James Weldon Johnson, who had been employed as a field secretary by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People since 1916. In 1919, he organized peaceful protests against the racial violence which had occurred that summer. And so, as I said, there's so many places where this occurred, but I'm going to get into this article and kind of cover a little bit of that as well. Let me see here. There might be one or two things I want to cover. Oh, so let's jump down here real quick because it goes through each city and the amount of time in which it happened. So I'm going to show that real quick. It says this list is primarily, but not exclusively, based on George Edmunds Haynes' report as summarized in the New York Times in 1919. And so all of these places, there were massacres, okay, of our people. And so let's read this. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, and that thick clay going into his debt-based system. But even as scripture says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And through bloodshed, he increased in that which is not his. Okay. By killing our people. Okay. By taking their lands, taking the little in which our people had. And all of these, like I said, is just one summer. Okay. From the beginning of June, or I guess from the beginning of January, and then rolled throughout that whole summer. Okay. So let's get into this article, because I'm just going to glance over it real quick, just because of time. It says hundreds of Black Americans were killed during Red Summer, a century later still ignored. Okay. And so it says in 1919, photo provided by Chicago History Museum, a crowd of men in armed National Guard stand in front of the Ogden Cafe during race riots in Chicago. All right. So I want to bring out one more thing here just to kind of get to the point. Yeah, I want to show this picture as well, too. Okay. Now, this picture says in 1919, photo provided by the Chicago History Museum, a victim is stoned and bludgeoned under a corner of a house during race riots in Chicago. And so these are the things that were going on, And that's why the scripture says back in Habakkuk 2:6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him? That word woe means destruction. Destruction to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Verse 7, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. Once again, going to show you that wherever Esau is, he's going to leave a bloody trail. Okay. It says, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Okay. Verse 9 says, woe to him that coveted an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And so all of these things are just to show how Esau basically has been able to terrorize the globe, specifically Israelites, but all these other heathen nations are going to come up against him as well, But he did all these things to set himself on high, and basically try to prevent himself from prophecy being fulfilled against him, and basically trying to subdue the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And none of that's going to happen. Okay. So let's read a couple of these quick stats. It says, researchers believe that in a span of 10 months, more than 250 Israelites were killed in at least 25 riots across the U.S. by white mobs that never faced punishment. So that's that iniquity in which Esau does, and that no one can, judge him. But that also goes back, to prophecy to a degree, that no one was going to be able to touch Cain, and rightfully so, man. Like, nobody can do anything to these crackers, man. Even if I always bring up Jeffrey Epstein and, the Pope and all of these cats, man, they get away with things here on this side. But ultimately, their judgment is Yahweh Yahushua is going to destroy their ass. All right. So it says, white mobs that never face punishment. Historian John Hope Franklin called it the greatest period of interracial strife the nation has ever witnessed. It says the bloodshed was the product of a collision of social forces. Black men were returning from World War I, expecting the same rights they had fought and bled for in Europe, and African Americans were moving north to escape the brutal Jim Crow laws of the South. Whites saw blacks as competition for jobs, homes, and political power. Ethnic cleansing was the goal of white rioters, said William Tuttle, a retired professor of American Studies at the University of Kansas and author of Race Riot, Chicago in the Red Summer of 1919. They wanted to kill as many black people as possible and to terrorize the rest until they were willing to leave or live someplace else. You see? These are the things in which he hit. Matter of fact, let's just grab that real quick. He has had that perpetual hatred for our people, man. You know? So it doesn't matter when it was done. This is his nature, man. This is let's just start at 1. This is Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Okay, Mount Seir is these Edomites, so-called white people of today. Okay, it says, verse 3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay, that's the judgment that these crackers don't want to hear. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, those same cities in which he got from iniquity. Okay, it says, and through bloodshed. It says, verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. It says, verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And that's what's happening, okay? The fall of Babylon, aka America, is happening right before our eyes. And all the rest of these other heathen nations are turning on America, and they have them in America in its crosshairs. Okay, but just as all of that's stirring up, and all these other heathen nations are starting to come up against Babylon, aka America, that's when Yahweh Shai, Lord will return and destroy this place and judge it. Okay, I'm gonna read verse 6 again, Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, so yeah, hey, your days are numbered, Esau. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, let's read down. It says the violence didn't start or end in 1919. Some count the era of Red Summer as the beginning, with the deaths of more than 24 African Americans in East St. Louis, Missouri in 1917, and extending through the Rosewood Massacre of 1923, when a black town in Florida was destroyed. All told, at least 1,100 Americans were killed in race violence over those 6 years by Tuttle's count. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else real quick. Oh, yeah, let's read this. It says in 1919 alone, violence erupted in such places as New York, Memphis, Tennessee, Philadelphia, Charleston, South Carolina, Baltimore, New Orleans, Wilmington, Delaware, Omaha, Nebraska, New London, Connecticut, Bisbee, Arizona, Longview, Texas, Knoxville, Tennessee, Norfolk, Virginia, and Putnam County, Georgia. Okay, so all of these things were going to kill Jake, you know, and for what reason? A perpetual hatred. Let's go back and read that one more time. This is Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Okay, let's get this word here, perpetual, real quick. Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, here we go. Everything that Esau does is to destroy the nation of Israel, man. It says long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, everlasting, okay, perpetual, all right, continuous existence, okay. So when the scripture says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay, so yeah, let's jump down here a little bit. Rest of the article, and this is basically just showing how people were killed, man. You know, and all of these riots and massacres are just small examples, okay, of what Esau, the so-called white man, has just put in his textbooks, okay, to where he's leaving that trace of what he's done. All right, and I'll show a couple of images here because I got one more scripture I'm gonna jump into, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Let's see here. This is Habakkuk 2:15. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness." You know, and so even today, you know, a lot of people look at our people as being downtrodden and, you know, can't really do anything or whatever. But if you look at the depravity in which our people have gone through, and I'm not, you know, justifying 2/3, but I'm just saying overall, the perception is that, you know, our people can't do whatever they need to do for themselves, when in actuality, they're under the sorcery of fear. Okay? Because their parents, grandparents, all of that was involved. 1919 was basically 100 years ago. Okay? It's 2021 now. So 2019 was 2 years ago. That's 100 years. And so that's what, roughly maybe 3 generations, 2 generations. And so most of our grandparents and grandparents, their parents, went through these things. Okay. But through that, they gave them religion. They gave them, you know, Christianity. They gave them, you know, the quote unquote American dream. All of these philosophies. It says, "Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him." What's in that bottle? Lies. Okay. It says to makest him drunk also. Okay. Because when you're not sober with these holy scriptures, you can be like a drunken man, you know, tossed to and, or well, you can be like like a drunken man tossed to and fro, you know, and when you're tossed to and fro, you have no stability. Okay. It says that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. And basically, that's what gets exploited year after year after year, is the fact that our people, specifically, you know, 2/3, they're the ones that are more naked because we have the covering of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. But that nakedness is basically shame. You know, that's what these other heathen nations look at us collectively as. You know, they hiss, they fan the hand at us. You know? So, but as the scripture says, I'm going to jump down here, verse 16, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." So yeah, that shameful spewing, the things that Esau never wanted to occur, are happening right now. You know, the man of sin, the son of perdition is being revealed. Okay, I'm getting this shameful spewing.
Strong's H 7022. Kikalon.
It says dubious, disgrace, intense disgrace. Okay, so yeah, that, you know, that the glory of all kingdoms, you're not gonna be glorious anymore, man. You're going to have shame, you know, all over you. Okay. And then ultimately you're going to be destroyed. All right. Let me see here. Yeah, let's read this. We'll wrap up here. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and Let me start at 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Well, we read in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it said that he established, it says, this is Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. Obviously, we know that Esau has an affection with blood. So as scripture says in Ezekiel, the Lord's going to have blood pursue him. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. All right. Now let's grab 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. You see, because Esau can play it off to these, false flags, these, phantom terrorism, planned 9/11 attacks, and, all of these things are planned, but he can push it off on a mystery like, oh man, there's this, boogie monster that's hunting people down. Like, no, it's you. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. Okay. And that's what's happening. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing more and more information about Esau and what he's been doing to our people being revealed. Okay. And now through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's about to be taken out of the way. Okay. Permanently. All right. This is verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So these are the things in which is going to be revealed. Okay. And the Lord's going to destroy not only the workings of Satan, but the man of sin, the son of perdition. Okay. Let's grab that. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is the Lord, and that's what he's been able to do. He's been able to lord over the children of Israel. He's been able to lord over all the rest of these other heathen nations, and no one's been able to touch him. Okay. But through him doing that and through prophecy, he's being revealed. Okay. And as the scripture says, man, the Lord brings everything to light. There's nothing hidden that will not be revealed. So Lord willing, this was edifying for the elect. Lord will, I may be able to cover a little bit more of these massacres, because it's practically endless. Like everything in which that perpetual, look at that, man, Red Summer, that perpetual hatred of these Edomites is not going to stop until Yahweh Shai returns. We saw what last year was, and that was just on a small scale. Once again, Esau's going to roll. And when he does, Lord willing, the men of Yahweh Shemel Shai protected from those things, because that hatred is to the core, of these crackers, man. So Lord willing, you brothers were edified. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.